What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Fake Lise, and I am back with another YouTube video. Okay, so welcome back. First of all, welcome back. And as you can see by the title, today is going to be like a different type of video. I wanted to switch it up and do like a different style video for you guys. And so I decided to film my stalker story time video. I've been waiting to film this video for a long time. Like, I was gonna film this video when it first happened, which was like 2 years ago. But I wanted to wait until I moved out of my parents' house, and so they wouldn't know where I lived anymore, because I didn't want to record the video and then they still know where I live and then they come and do the same shit that they've been doing to me for the past few months. And so I waited to record this video. It's 2 years after. I'm in a whole new house, and so I felt more comfortable filming this video, and so that is what I am going to do. Get into this crazy freaking story. Okay, this basically happened, like, I want to say 3 years ago. And so to start it off, I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit of a backstory. In high school, I was very like quiet. I was very soft-spoken. I was very shy. I was more insecure in high school as well. Like, so I just really stayed to myself a lot. And I did not have that many friends. Like, I literally had like one good friend in high school. We're gonna call this friend Amy. And so me and Amy, I met her. We was good friends. We was together, She left high school a year before me, but the following year after that, we both started to go to the same college together. And Amy, I didn't have a best friend. So Amy was like my only good friend that I had, but Amy had her own best friend that went to a different school. So when we started to go to college together, met Amy's best friend. We're gonna call Amy's best friend Pam. So I met Pam in college with Amy, and when I met Pam, we was just cool. We was instantly cool. It was no bad vibes. And we all three just started hanging out together. Like, we all just started being friends, and it just started to be cool. Every day it was really just us three, until it wasn't just us three. Straight out of high school, me going into college, I was still very shy. I was still very quiet. So these two girls were the only girls that I would hang out with. So them two, they met their own friends. They would go to the cafeteria. They met their own friends. Let me give you a backstory of what type of friends they met. The friends that they met, they were very like different type of people. I started going to a community college, so it was like very like different. I feel like any college is different, different types of people, but these type of people, they were older. Go straight out of high school, I was 18 years old. They was 19, and there was like, I was 18, they were like 20. And so the friends that they start hanging out with, these people were a cool 30, 40 years old. Like, there was a cool 30, 40 years old, 40 years old. They were just different. They would sit in the back of the cafeteria and they would play like Pokemon cards and stuff, and they would like invent their own type of games and take it to the cafeteria and be playing it in the back. No problem with it, but I'm just giving y'all a backstory on how these people was. So they would play like card games in the back, and my friends Amy and Pam, they start hanging out with these people in the back. So me being me, I don't have no other friends. I'm straight out of high school. You know, in high school it's like cliques, like everybody is clicked up hanging out together, you know. And so that was like my clique. Like, I didn't have nobody else. So I would go hang out with them as well. Like, I would just sit at the table with them while they was doing whatever they was doing. And I was just like, okay, like, these are my friends, like, whatever. So one day, me, Amy, and Pam, me, Amy, and Pam, we go to the cafeteria. we start walking to the back where we normally sit with these group of people. There's a new girl back there. We're gonna call this girl Sasha. So one day we go to the back and we see Sasha back there. I guess Pam, Amy's best friend, Pam knew Sasha from high school. So they go back there, they start talking to Sasha. Hey girl, this is our friend Faith. Sasha look at me, she look at me like, just kind of like with a straight face, and she say hi. And I'm just like, hi. Like, I kind of felt like some animosity, but I really think nothing of it. I was just like, hi, like, what's up, you know? And so whole time they sitting, they talking to Sasha. Sasha's not really talk. She don't really say nothing to me at all. Like, she just talking to them. She's not really saying nothing to me. And then Sasha, okay, let me calm down, because I feel like y'all gonna start getting confused. So they're sitting, they're talking for a cool 15 minutes. Whole time Sasha's not really saying nothing to me. I'm just on my phone chilling. A boy walks in, I guess that knows Sasha. He walk up to her, start talking to her. Sasha gonna say, hey, well, I forgot the boy's name, but she was like, she said to him, she was like, yeah, and this is your new girlfriend. And she pointed to me. And I felt like that was kind of weird, because it's like, you didn't say nothing to me this whole time, and now you talking about to this boy, you talking about I'm his new girlfriend. So even the boy was looking kind of weird. Like, it was just kind of like a weird situation. It was like awkward. Like, why would you, if you're not talking to me, like, why would you, I don't know, maybe I overthought that, but I just thought that was kind of weird. It continues to happen. They continue talking, nobody really talking to me, whatever. So over time, me and Sasha, we started to become cool. Like, I feel like I sat and talked to her one day, and she was actually a cool person. She wasn't weird or nothing. Like, she was actually a cool person. We was talking, and suddenly all four of us started to become friends. We all started to hang out and really started to become like really good, close friends. Like, we was good, you know. We would do friend stuff together. We would go to the mall, go out to eat. Every holiday, Christmas, all that, we would all just hang out, have little not activities, but like we would do stuff together. Like, we would do like Secret Santas together and everything for about, I want to say this went on for about a year. We was friends for about a year. Like, all four of us, we was friends for about a year. As we're like being friends, I'm kind of noticing like weird tendencies with Sasha and me. Like, we'll be all hanging out or whatever, and I'll look at Sasha, and I'll look up at Sasha, and she'll be looking at me like with the meanest mug. But then when she sees me make eye contact with her, she would try to like switch her facial expression. Like, she'll try to brighten her face up, like she was not just looking at me like that, but I seen her looking at me like that. So it was just kind of weird, but I never really said nothing about it. So then one day, it's April Fool's Day, right? So it's April Fool's. They all three call me on a group call. I answer it. Sasha gonna say, yeah, Faith, we don't like you. I was like, I already knew it was April Fool's, but I'm like, okay, why not? She gonna say, oh, because you think you're all that, and you think you could get all the boys, and I just saying heck of stuff. And I'm just like, is this a joke or not? Like, are you trying to use April Fool's as an excuse to say that this is a joke? Because it sounds like this is how you really, like, that's not really funny, you know? After that, she want to say April Fool's. Everybody on the phone want to start laughing. Funny. And I'm just like, okay. And I told my mom about it. Whole time, my mom is telling me, like, oh, like, you better, like, watch out, you know, like, these, not, well, she was just saying basically like these girls might not really be your friends, like you better watch out, like especially after I told her that April Fool's jokes, because my mom, she watches Dateline like every night. Like she would sit in the living room in the dark with a sparkling water watching Dateline every night. So she just be having stuff in her head like all the time. So after I told her that, she was like, oh yeah, like you better watch out, like you better look at these girls with a side eye, basically. But I was like, no, like they're my friends or whatever. One more backstory before I get into the tea, so this can make sense, so I could tie it all in. So in the group, in the 30-year-old group of people that Amy and Pam and Sasha, they all that they hung out with, there was this guy in the group. Okay, we're gonna call this guy Sam. He was a cool 20, no, not 20. He was a cool 30 as well. He was like older as well. Sasha and Sam, they started hanging out. Like they started hanging out together. It was kind of weird. One day Sam said to me, he was like, oh yeah, if you wasn't friends with Amy and Pam, then I probably would have asked you out. I would have asked you out. And I didn't really say nothing because I was like what? But I think he kind of took offense to that. I don't know. But I was just like, you know, like what? So that was the backstory on that. Okay, so boom. It's the summertime, right? I just got back from Vegas. I went out to Vegas to visit my dad. Mind you, I'm still like 19 years old. So I just went out there to visit my dad. I just got back from Vegas. They was like, oh, like, Faith, you're back in town now. Like, let's hang out. Let's hang out. Like, let's link up. And so I'm like, okay. So whole time, Amy was my initial friend first. So Amy knew where I lived all the time. And Amy was the only one with the car at this time. Any other time the girls would come to my house, I would drive us all to my house. This particular day in the summertime, my parents was away. They was on vacation. And the girls wanted to come over and have a sleepover. So I'm like, yeah, it's lit. Like I just got back. My friends would have seen me. It's lit. Amy and Pam, they ride to my house together. But Sasha, she needed to call an Uber to my house. So this was the first time that I texted her my address like verbatim, so she knows exactly where I live, so she can call the Uber. And Sasha ends up getting there before everybody else, right? Okay, right. And so me and Sasha just talking, and I'm giving Sasha the layout of my house. I don't really want to say why. Okay, not the layout, but I'm telling her, not on the inside, but I'm telling her the outside. I'm telling her how we have a Ring camera on our front, on the front of our house. And I'm telling her this because, and I don't know if my parents are watching this or not, but I'm telling her this because at the time I had a boyfriend. So I wanted to try to sneak my boyfriend in the house. So I was basically asking her for advice on how she thinks I can sneak him past the Ring camera. And I'm giving her the layout of like the camera and what the camera can see and everything, you know? I'm telling her so she can give me some advice the whole time. Okay. So I'm giving her like the layout of the house or whatever. So that happens. Amy and Pam end up coming over. We have a good night. We hanging out. We kicking it. We listening to music loud. We having a good time, right? It's fun. It's summer. It's lit, you know? Everybody leaves like the next day. And for a couple days, nothing happened. Like I don't talk to them. We wasn't the type of friends that be talking every day anyway, so I don't talk to them and stuff. And it just was what it was. Like we just went on about our little day. The next week, I'm about to start school. Like, we're about to go back to, well, was it? Well, yeah, school was coming up, right? So, next week, I'm sleeping in my bed, right? I'm asleep. I kid you not. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. My stepdad come busting in my room. I always have my door shut all the time. So, when he come busted in my room, like, he busted in my room to the point where I could wake up. Like he opened my door so hard that I could wake up off how hard he opened the door. So he like Faith, like yelling at me while I'm asleep. But now I'm kind of up, but he like waking me up. And I'm like, I don't even say nothing. I just open my eyes, and he like, who do you have problems with? Who do you have problems with? I'm like, I just woke up, so I don't know what he's talking about. And so I'm like, what? He like, who do you have problems with? I'm like, nobody. He like, well, you have a big old cedar block through your window. I don't know what you got going on, but you need to figure it out. And he leaves. Like, he literally leaves and goes to work after telling me that. So I'm like, what? Like, I have a what through my what? Like, what are you talking about? And so I get up, I go outside. There is a brick through my windshield. And I'm going to insert a picture somewhere on the screen so y'all can see. There is a brick through my windshield. Glass about my car. There's a brick through my... It's like, yeah, y'all gonna see in the picture. Like, there's a brick through my windshield. So, I'm confused as hell because ain't nothing like this ever happened to me before. I don't have problems with nobody. I don't know what's going on. Then I start to think, like, did somebody throw this at my car on accident? Like, did they get my car confused with somebody else? Like, I was so confused. But then I start mapping out. I'm like, is it my ex-boyfriend? So I hit him up. I'm like, basically, did you throw this brick through my window? Mind you, I haven't talked to this boy in I don't even know how long. So he confused. He like, what? And then I called my boyfriend that I had at that time. Mind you, we was on the phone together the night before. So when I called him, I asked him, I'm like, did you come throw the brick through my window, like, after you got off the phone? He was like, what? Like, what's going on? What are you talking about? For a cool, 20 minutes, I'm trying to figure out who did this. Like, who threw this through my window? I get a text message. It's a group chat message. If I have the screenshot, I'm gonna insert the screenshot somewhere on the screen. But this, the group message was basically, it was me. Excuse me, I had to go get something to drink because my mouth started to get dry. But anyways, in the group message, back to where we left off. In the group message, it was me, Amy, Pam, Sasha. Anonymous number gonna text and say, ha ha ha. So who's next? You know, like, who's next? Mind you, before this even happened, me, Sasha, and Pam, we was all on a three-way call because Sasha said that somebody was calling her from a blocked number saying weird stuff or something. And so we was on a group call talking about that. And then I told them, oh, somebody busted my windows last night. And they was like, what? Whole time, Sasha not really saying nothing. Sasha kind of quiet on the phone. Sasha not really saying a peep. Sasha not saying nothing. But I'm just like, oh, maybe she confused. I don't know. And so we get a group text that says, haha, who's next? And Sasha says, am I getting the names mixed up? No, Pam, Amy's best friend. Pam says, who's this? And the anonymous message was like, Faith, how's your Jeep? And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm like, this has never happened to me before. Like, what is tea? Like, who is tea? Like, what's going on? I don't say nothing in the group chat. I don't say nothing because something actually happened to me. From the sound of it, nothing happened to nobody else but me. So I'm not saying nothing in the group message. And so they like, yeah, Faith, how's your Jeep? Who wants to be next? Just saying all this weird stuff in the group message. Long story short, we get off the phone. I don't really say much. I go to the police station because I'm telling my mom, like, I'm asking my mom, what should I do? She's like, go to the police station, make a police report. So I go to the police station. They literally just have me write down what happened and put it in the damn slide. and they had me going about my day. I thought they was gonna do an investigation or something, but they didn't do nothing. They just was like, write down what happened, write down the incident, and yeah. So I was like, okay. And so I left, got my window fixed. I think it was a cool, what, 170. Got it fixed, whatever. I went on about my day. They stopped texting in the group message and everything. So I was just like, okay, like, that was weird, but whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on. Later on in the day, Sasha calls me one-on-one, and she's just like, so Faith, like, what happened? Like, who do you think is doing this? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, I don't have problems with nobody. Like, who do you think? And we're just talking about it. We're going back and forth. I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, I don't know, right? So time goes on. All the friends, we continue to hang out. It is what it is, I guess, until they... It is what it is until I want to say like a month later, I come outside, my window's busted out again. I kid you not. I kid you not. I kid you not. I kid you not. I come outside, my windshield is busted out for a second time. So now I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't say nothing to nobody this time, because now I'm like, now I'm starting to look, because my mom even was telling me too. She was like, she been telling me like, oh, like, watch out for them girls, like, watch out, you know. So now I'm starting to look at the girl with a side eye, because I'm like, what's going on, you know. So I don't say nothing. Like, I'm waiting to see if somebody brings up the topic to me. Nobody says nothing to me. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not them, you know. Like, I don't know what's going on. So make another police report, put it in the slot again, whatever, is what it is, right? After that, like, we actually, my stepdad, he's getting mad. We actually call a police officer to the house and tell them about what's going on, and they basically tell me that I'm gonna have to start moving my car or whatever, or we're gonna have to start getting cameras around the house and all this extra stuff. And so I start parking my car in the back of the house. I keep hanging out with the girls. Everything is everything still. It was still like, Sasha was still like giving me like a weird side eye and stuff, but I still didn't really think nothing of it. And so we ended up getting like my whole house, we start like plotting on, okay, Faith is gonna have to start moving her car to the back, parking it back on the street, because we don't have that much room in the driveway. So they like, Faith is gonna have to start parking her car back on the street. So what are we gonna do? And so we start plotting and figuring out what we're gonna do. And we ended up getting cameras around our whole entire house. Like, we ended up getting cameras over our whole entire house. And so that same night, I parked my car back on the street, right? Valentine's Day comes. I haven't hung out with the girls in a long time, because I don't know why. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, I kind of stopped hanging out with Sasha because I felt like she was like something was kind of off about her. So I haven't hung out with the girls in a long time. But then, like, stuff stopped happening to my car. Like, nothing was happening. So I was like, okay, like, maybe it's not her. Like, I just really start feeling like it was her. So I was like, maybe it's not her, you know. Maybe it's not her. Like, I don't know who it is, but maybe it's not her. So Valentine's Day come. We all hang out on Valentine's Day. We don't have no Valentine's, so we all hang out on Valentine's Day. We go to the movies. We have a good time. I'm catching up with Sasha, telling her what's going on. She's still kind of looking at me weird, whatever. We talking, whatever. Y'all might be like, why you keep hanging out with somebody that you feel like looking at you weird? I feel like maybe I was being weird. I don't know. And so Valentine's Day is over. The next week, I'm going to say the next week after Valentine's Day. Now, this is the kicker, y'all. Next week after Valentine's Day, I had a biology class at 7:30 in the morning. I wake up at 6 in the morning. I'm getting ready for biology. I'm getting dressed. I'm drinking my smoothie. I'm on my weight loss journey. I'm about to have a good day. I'm about to get started. I start going outside. As I start approaching my car, I see my whole back window is busted out of my car. So I'm like, they came and did this shit again, right? I start walking closer. I have a video. I'm going to insert the video somewhere on the screen. But as I start walking up, I see like there was like a hole in my 2 back windows. And like all my windows was basically fucked up on my car, you know. And so I just start crying because normally I'm like, damn, like normally they only bust out the windshield. They came and busted out all my windows. And so I start crying. I go back in the house. My stepdad gets so mad. And it's just a whole, like, it's a whole, because everybody's up getting ready for school and work. And so everybody is just like, what is going on, you know? And so that whole morning, me and my stepdad, we was just sitting and we was replaying the cameras back. Like, we was replaying the cameras back, trying to see, like, what's going on, like, who did it. And like after a while of us running the camera back, finally come up on something. Excuse that. But we finally come up on something and we see a boy, right? It's a boy walking like on the side of our fence. Walking on the, I got scared for real. Walking on the side of our fence. I got scared for real, fuck. But it's a boy walking on the side of our fence, and he has on a hood. I probably should not be telling this story at night, but whatever. So he has on a hood, and he's walking on the side of our fence, and we just see him take a BB gun, and he just like literally goes and he shoots out all of my windows on my car, and then he runs back, gets in the car. Mind you, the car stops before it even enters the cameras. So the car stops right here and it busts a U-turn and it turns around. So we can't even see the car. We can't see nothing. But remember I told y'all when Sasha came over that night, I told her we had a camera on the front of the house and I told her what it could see. So they turned around before they even could be seen by the Ring camera, because that's the camera that she knew we had. She didn't know that we got new, like, different cameras, but she knew like something. So they busted a Yui and drove off. We never seen the car, nothing. Of course we told the police again. My family was so mad. They wanted to do like other stuff than that, but I didn't. Like, me and my mom, we was just like, no, like, don't, basically like 2 wrongs don't make it right. And me, I'm not like a fighter. Like, I never been in a fight in my life, so I wasn't finna just go and start like beating Sasha ass or nothing like that. Because I'm just not a fighter. Like, that's just not how I am. And so basically that's what happened. So basically that's what happened with that. Now y'all could be saying, y'all could say like, oh, well, how did you find out that it was Sasha? Like, how did you know it was Sasha? Well, like, I kind of stopped talking to the girls a little bit and I started parking my car like different places again. And one day my friend Amy, my first friend that I had, she texted me and she was like, yeah, why did Sasha text and ask, did you get a new car? Like, or she texted me and asked me, what kind of car do you have now? And I was like, see, why would she think that I have a new car, and why is she worried about what kind of car I have? And she was most likely saying that because I was not parking my car in the same spot. So she's like, what kind of car does Faith have now, you know? And like I told y'all, Sasha was hanging out with the 30-year-old guy that was in the group, Sam. And so I came up with Sam. Basically, Sam, he has a younger brother. And so I want to say that that's who was on the camera busting out my windows. But I couldn't really tell for sure because of the hood. But he was a younger boy, just like Sam's brother. And basically, like, it was so weird. It was so weird. Sam all of a sudden start texting me like, hey Faith, how are you doing? How have you been doing lately? And all this stuff. and it was just a whole bunch of weird stuff. So basically I ended up just blocking Sasha, and I ended up blocking Sam, and that never really happened to me no more. Like, I just separated myself from the whole situation. I stopped talking to both of them. Even though I wasn't never really talking to Sam anyway, but I literally stopped talking to Sasha. And I don't tell Amy or Pam none of this that's going on. In fact, they did not know none of this whole time. I didn't tell nobody because I didn't know who was, like, I didn't know what was going on and stuff. And so but if they're watching this video, like, now y'all know what the fuck happened and why I don't fuck with her. So I stopped messing with them. Sasha and not Sasha, but Pam and Amy, like, they would still hang out with Sasha and Sam, and you know, I was just like, okay, like, it was up to them because they didn't, like, I didn't have no proof that Sasha was doing it, but like my instincts was telling me that she was doing it. Like, who else would, like, my instincts was telling me that she was doing it. And so but they continued to hang out with them or whatever. And I guess one day what's her name, Pam, she goes to work, and I guess Sam has his sisters come up to Pam's job and jumps Pam because I guess Pam did something to Sasha and Sam. I don't know what, but he has his sisters come up to her job and jumps her, and now I guess Sam is in jail. That's besides the point. Long story short, it was just a whole lot of weird stuff going on, and that was basically my stalker story time. But luckily, I did move out of my house, and I'm in a new place, in a new environment. And honestly, after that, like, they really stopped. After, like, I started blocking Sasha and Sam, I feel like she started to know that I knew it was her, and so they really, like, didn't come back and do it no more. And I never talked to them again to this day. Very weird, very much like secret animosity for whatever reason. I don't know why Sasha didn't like me. For the most part, I thought that we was cool, but I guess not, and whatever. So yeah, but that was my weird, crazy story time. I'm sorry if y'all was kind of confused a little bit, but I was just trying to get out what I was trying to say, so it's kind of like unorganized. But that was my weird, crazy story time. Hope y'all liked it. I don't know. Hope y'all liked it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.